It's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and the registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Vicki, do you like it? Are you liking all this?
George, I was trying not to say anything about it, but I know that everybody out there,
It's like, what
those
the
people who in
heck
radio
is-
land can't see it, but those people who are on video land, they're going
What?
right now, what in the world?
is going on with this
You
brother
look like
right
an Easter,
here?
a black and white Easter egg. That's what we're gonna tell them it is.
That's
Okay?
what this, a black and white
Okay.
Easter egg. I
Easter egg.
love it. I love
Okay,
it.
all right. But
I
anyway,
love
yes,
it.
George, I like it. And since we're there, let's wish everybody a blessed Easter.
Yes.
And if we're lucky enough that Easter egg hunts are going on today, and there won't have to be that many inside Easter egg hunts. So that's a blessing by itself. So we don't have to look for those eggs or look for the smell, 2-3 weeks from today. But anyway, George, wanted to start off with this comment first of all. I was pleased to hear from some folks around town that they are getting excited about our generational wealth building series. That they wanted a little bit more information as to what we were trying to do. So let me talk about what we're trying to accomplish here. I realized some time ago that, obviously.
Wait a minute, Vicki, though.
Yeah. What's up?
Please go back to the.
Go back.
Okay, because you got to tell people what it is.
All right, then. So we are putting together a workshop series. The workshop series is focused on building generational wealth, but we're doing it in a very different way. We want to be sure that we have during this workshop, which will be a live, by the way, I should say that first, a live workshop. It will not be virtual. That we, at least on this first run, that we have in the room minimum per segment of participants, 2 generations at the table to have this conversation. We are going to have conversations around what it takes to truly build generational wealth within your family, but also understanding that creating generational wealth really is more about not necessarily just creating, but how to transfer and retain that wealth from one generation to the next. So I asked everyone last week, I said, if you'd like to participate, because we're going to select between 10 and 15 families to participate in this inaugural event, that I need you to send me an email. The email is going to Vicki.Brackens, that's Brackens, at brackensfsn.com. I want you to put in the email, what makes your family special? Why do you think participating in an event, in a workshop like this would impact and help your family? And what do you think would be the most important thing for you to learn in that particular workshop? But most of all, I want to hear about you and your family and the dynamics of your family. So write me a little paragraph and tell me all those things within that little paragraph. And George and I, along with my committee, will sit down and we're going to select between 10 and 15 families to participate in this workshop in the very near future.
Okay.
All right, George, was that enough?
That's enough. And now you can add further information.
Okay. All right. Okay. Make sure we set the context. Make sure we bring everybody back into the conversation. This is my media training, folks.
There you go.
All right. Okay. From the master himself. So so with this generational wealth workshop, as I said, we hope to make sure that we have between 10 and 15 families participating and have at least 2. Now you must make sure that at least 2 generations of your family
That's the key.
Will participate in this event. Because you know what, George, I looked around and we really have here in Syracuse, in the local area, many families that have between 2 and 4 generations that are still here together.
We're blessed in that way.
We are very blessed in that way. And to have a conversation that's between 4 generations about how to move wealth from one generation to the next. So that means that we could really, if we built this properly, have a generational conversation that goes from one generation, 2, 3, 4 to the getting prepared for the fifth. And when you start passing on wealth that is, I'm going to say it the way kids are, that is stacked that way,
Okay.
you are really, really doing something magnificent. So I'm looking forward to getting more emails concerning what it is about your family that's special, that tells me about the dynamics of your family, and why a program like this would be beneficial for your family. All right, George, I heard something. I'm going to go into the next subject right quick. Last week, the Federal Reserve, as you know, announced that they are going to hold interest rates steady again.
Yes, they did.
That was not a big surprise, okay? We are starting to see, and even more so on a more consistent basis, that inflation is ticking down. We have a few things that pop up every once in a while, a little bit, gas prices went up for a little bit and then came back down. Okay, some things on commodity levels went up a little bit and came back down, but we're starting to get a consistent pattern. So we weren't really surprised to see that they were holding interest rates steady in this next segment. One of the things that was also at least indicated, not necessarily specifically spelled out, was that there will possibly be, all these commas, 3 interest rate decreases this year. That was not that was also not really a big surprise, but it was nice to get a confirmation of sorts around that information. But a surprising story has emerged that a lot of conversation didn't take place last week, but was in the news that I want to share. And that is this: quietly, momentum around technology industry layoffs is starting to build. And you're probably thinking, technology layoffs?
Yeah,
that's
very surprising.
Last year, right at the end of the year, and throughout the beginning of this year, we've had roughly a little over 200,000 layoffs in the technology industry. And since the beginning of the year, there's been around 34,000 since the beginning of 2024. Companies like Mozilla and Cisco and Amazon and Instacart, all of those companies. And here's the thing that we're starting to realize: those job cuts are more focused on technology skills that are what I would call 3.0, older technology skills, versus technology skills 4.0, which we talked about before, 3 versus 4, which are more in the artificial intelligence sphere.
Mm-hmm.
So what that's showing is this: you must continue to upgrade your skills. Just because you say technology, as you know, I mean, George, we've lived through so many things as far as technology changes in our lifetime. Is constantly rolling, and the speed at which skill upgrade is taking place is absolutely on hyperdrive now. So what we're seeing is that there's been a high degree of layoffs that have taken place in the older end of the technology sector. That's forcing a lot of folks in technology to either go back to school, get new certifications, or look for different types of companies that they're working with. And it's taking longer for them to be reemployed. So for those of you right now who haven't seen this in the news, I don't want it to come as a surprise to think that the sky is falling, but it's what I call a canary in the coal mine. It's a little bit of a warning that we need to keep an eye on this to be sure that we are preparing for, and that if you happen to fall into this particular industry, that you're preparing for the next phase of upgrade necessary in order to stay employed and on top of your game.
When you say upgrade your tech skills for
Yes.
the layperson, because look, I'm only going to know what I'm going to know for real,
Okay.
right? And like I was on the phone today with a tech person going through some things. So when you say upgrade your skills as someone who only needs to touch what I need to touch, I mean, what do you mean by that?
I'm not really talking to you particularly.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Someone who is in the technology field.
Thank you.
Okay, where as you know, over the many years, if you were in the technology field, you were basically Teflon. Everybody wanted you and everybody needed you. But with some of the changes that have happened now and the shift more toward artificial intelligence and those skills that are necessary to continue to grow that end of the new 4.0 industrial revolution, as we've talked about before. You need to not sit on your keister and wait, thinking that everything is the same as it was before. You've got to stay on top of your game, is what I'm telling those individuals in technology who are not taking the certifications and doing the things necessary to stay on top of the game, because money is being spent, by the way. Even the companies that are laying off individuals, they are spending billions of dollars bringing on new firms and new startups around AI, and they are looking for people in that end of the technology field. Okay, George, we also last week just want to remind you that we are starting a new service. I told you that.
You did.
Okay, new service probably around June, July, that's going to focus on student loan repayment processing and processes to get those people who need help getting back on the rolls and getting their student loan repayments back in proper order. So if you are interested in getting more information, or at least being put onto our mailing list so that you will be one of the first that has the opportunity to take advantage of this service, write us at info@brackensfsn.com, and in the memo write student loan repayment. info@brackensfsn.com. Student loan repayment.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend for sure. Okay. Well, George, I think that's a pretty full calendar.
I think so. A few things going on
this week. Okay. So I'll ask everyone again and remind you, share and subscribe. Share and subscribe. If you have questions, feel free to give us a call at 315-930-4499. And I'll say at this point, our plate is full.
All right, Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. She is America's money maven.